Hey guys, it's your girl Jaylah from Cultura, one of your co-founders, and I am excited to be here today talking to more important people that you need to know, especially in the tech world. So let me get started by introducing them. These guys have a very, very cool app called the Skroll app. We have Chris and we have Jerrod with
Hey,
us. Hi
hey,
guys.
Hey, what's up?
hey, how you doing? How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you
Yeah,
guys feeling today?
Doing great. Doing
we
great. Happy to
appreciate you
be here
having
with
us.
you. Yes.
I try to bring, it's rainy, it's cloudy out here. So I try to bring a little ray of sun out.
Right.
And grandma
Everybody.
and grandma just took the baby. So
Nice, nice, nice,
Right.
nice.
all right, guys. I was talking about my baby. Now you guys tell me about your baby, the Scroll app. We're gonna be talking about that, but let's get to know you a little bit better. We're gonna start off with Chris. So
All
Chris,
right.
let's tell me a little bit about yourself.
Um, Native New Yorker from the Bronx. For everyone out there, actually, Bronx can develop tech, so you guys know. So I started in the Bronx, and I came through. I was a DJ there. Then I started, and I was an artist and producer, all the way to record executive at some of the major labels you may know. And then from there, I went into tech. And in between that, I did dabble in some other business. I actually did have a NASCAR team on the track. Fubu was a sponsor at that time. But I'm going to fast forward to tech since this is what it's about. So tech, I'm a full stack developer. So I can code Android, HTML, JavaScript, Flutter, Swift. I have a full toolbox. If it's, I can make it. If it needs to be made, I can develop it. So I'll give you a little history of some of the things that I actually have done. Um, I actually did a website with Google at one time. It was the Rosa Parks website. I was part of that whole situation with that. Did some stuff with some guys at Microsoft. They started a tech company. I was featured on the Pentium 4 for testing the Pentium 4 processor. They did a documentary on that. I was
Wow.
featured on their website. And then from there, I was doing a lot of websites, and then I started, when mobile apps started to become popular, I jumped into that. It was just a natural progression for me, evolution for me to do that. And I'll fast forward. So one time, trying to come up with ideas for apps, I was on YouTube, and it was a girl that she didn't even speak English. I think she was from China or one of those countries, but she had the word halls in it. And I didn't know what that was, but I knew she had millions of views. So I put halls inside of YouTube and searched to see what it was. It came back with like millions of videos, but there
Wow.
was no app. So I said, all right, no app. So I called Jerrod, my partner. First person I called. It's like, hey, Jerrod, do you know this thing called halls? And then Jerrod knows the story too. So Jerrod could finish the story because he was just telling me the story.
Jerrod, tell us a little bit about yourself and then where you guys connected
And
and
how
what.
it all came together.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
So, once again, Jerrod Washington. So, I'm originally from Philly. So, I'm another East Coast guy, born and raised. I went to college there. I went to UVA, University of Virginia. I played football there. And
Okay.
then when I left Virginia, I went to the New England Patriots back in '94, a long time ago. Unfortunately, I had an injury, so it sidelined me for um, forever, I guess, because I never really got a chance. I got drafted to the NFL Europe and did some other things, but my knee never really got 100%. So from there, what I decided to do was stay in the sports world by doing marketing. So that's how I got into what I'm doing now. Is I did a lot of marketing for a lot of NFL, NBA. I even did some music guys as well. Did a lot of endorsement deals and things of that nature for a long time. Even today, people still ask me about helping them with different deals. So, but then what happened was that as it evolved and I moved from Philly to LA. LA is when I worked with some high profile NBA and NFL guys. And then I moved to Vegas and joined hands with a company. Now, Chris and I, we met probably over 20 years ago from
Yeah.
a mutual friend. And he connected us because we were working on it was a NASCAR project actually.
Right.
And he was the designer and developer of a NASCAR actually, and I was the marketing guy. So he put us together, and the rest is history. So from there, me and him hit it off. and then we just stayed in touch and started working together. And then finally, when he came up with that idea, this was some years later, but he came up with the idea about the halls, about these girls so searching, and I was like, that's crazy. Like what? So we came up with this concept and we dropped the social and just made it halls. And I was like, man, it would be cool if we could just like have these girls, whatever they're talking about in their videos, they could actually buy it right from the app. Now this was before
Before
Instagram did
IG, yeah,
it.
it
This
wasn't
was
even on IG
before
yet.
Amazon did it. We had it back in 2015, 2016. We were developing it. So it was great because we actually got funded for it big time, hired a bunch of staff and so forth. And then we developed the app, and then we hired like, I can't tell you how many influencers that we had inside of the app, and it grew. And then we did it for about 3 years, and then we did a lot of brand activations with companies like WNBA and Expedia, and then the company with the other partner that we had decided to go in a different direction. So Chris and I just kind of split from it. So that's our
Yeah,
our little
and yeah,
story shortened.
How you how
yeah,
you
that's the short and story. Yeah.
how you came together. Well,
Right.
after coming together, your brains got to work, and
Yep.
that leads us to today's conversation about
Right.
the Scroll app. So tell us about how that idea started and to where we're going headed now.
Well,
Right.
Jerrod, we always brainstorming, and myself and Jerrod, we run a tech company outside of our own tech that we do. So we actually have clients. We actually do a lot of clients bring their ideas to life and their dreams and visions. And we decided that we did this before, and I think it's time that we actually put our business on the forefront again. So as we speak every day, there's always ideas. He hits me with things he finds. He's like, "Did you know about this? You should be thinking about this." He finds articles, and then those ideas we bounce them off each other. That is so seamless that ideas just come. We can actually put it and make it real. That if we speak about, so Skroll was one of them. There's some issues that came up with other applications that was having some issues that TikTok kind of can you know fill in certain areas, right? One of them was like TikTok, so Scroll does have you would feel familiar TikTok, but there's many other great features outside of that. So one is to solve a problem, right? So we always try to solve a problem. And then Jerrod comes in and he has the marketing and ideas and how we package it together. Then I'll let him elaborate because he does a lot of research on that, and then that gives me uh, the direction to take things in certain places.
Yeah, what happens is we are great. It's a great fit because Chris is a genius when it comes to developing and things like that. And then, where I pat myself on the back is I just take whatever he does and we kind of enhance it, bring it together, and then I bring the resources together to help make it even that much greater, right? So, but when Chris is the brainchild behind a lot of this, but I just come up with the ideas together, and that's how it works. So we're a great tag team. That we're not going anywhere. We working like that. So, but no, when these ideas come about, we kind of do my homework. I look in the marketplace and I see, hey, is this something that we could definitely, is this something that's saturated in the marketplace, or is something that actually has some traction, like we can actually come in and make an impact? And then it's like, all right, then you know what I
Sorry.
mean?
Speaking of, like that substance and stuff, you guys have mentioned and talked about influencers. You
Mhm.
know, how has that changed for you? Because that sometimes, people are saying, oh, the influencer world is, oversaturated. There's an influencer for everything. How has that worked for you? And I guess you seem to be also focused on social media. Like how does that work?
Well, you know what I find because we still have a lot of strong relationships with a lot of influencers, so to speak. I mean, yes, it's a little different than what it was when it first began because, and initially nobody, even companies, didn't really know how to pay influencers and things like that. But now, yes, it's a little saturated with influencers, but it's still a need. So we also in our company we do app development and we work with a lot of different companies and we create apps for other companies as well as our own, right? And we find that a lot of companies are still relying on influencers to help push their brand. So even though it's saturated, there's still a need for it. Like there's still heavy need for it. For us, we have a lot of strong relationships with it, and then we also have conversations with the influencers as we're booking them for different events and different activations, and they tell us some of the things they don't like. about some of the platforms, right? And we hear it all the time. We don't like this because of that. We don't like that because of this. And so we
Right.
listen, take notes, and then I go back and talk to Chris and like, you know what? She didn't like this because of this particular algorithm, or this person didn't like this because they
Right.
weren't able to do this. And we say, oh yeah, and then Chris is,
Let me fix it. There was something so easy on Instagram that was in our first app, Pulse, and the influencers went. So on Instagram, they had this thing that you have to get outside apps to realign your pictures that you put in Instagram, like your gallery. So automatically, the first thing I thought about was like, why don't you just make it a feature in the app already? You just hold
Right.
it and drag it and put it. That alone was a game changer. I was like, what was IG thinking about? If you have to go download a whole different app to do it and almost pay another app, just make that a main feature in the app from the get go. And these are the things that we do that we can pivot really quickly. And, yeah, some people just missed the ball. I think IG was just too big to concentrate on that. But this is where we come in from all this experience, and we look at all the things that they missed that users will make the experience much better for them, and then we implement that in our technology.
You mentioned one or two things already that make Scroll different. What are some other features? Because I know, like, we're, I guess, creatures of habit in some way, shape, or form,
Right,
right? So when we're used to an app, or we're used to a certain font or a certain way of
right,
doing things on our, we're habit.
Mhm.
So
right,
I know that there's been comparisons with TikTok.
right.
Obviously, you guys being homegrown and being domestic rather than
Mhm.
imported.
And
Um,
foreign, made in
yeah,
America stays in America. Data is safe in America. That's
yeah.
number one.
How
Listen,
is how does Scroll make all of that different? Like, how are you guys setting yourselves apart other than doing that research with the focus groups and such like that?
well, some real life experience. It's one thing to develop an application, but when you become a user of other platforms, you start to see these things that would benefit or improve, uh, the experience of a user. So Scroll is not just influencer based; it's actually empowering users to actually start a business in Scroll. People are looking for new marketplaces, new ways to deliver content, new ways to generate money. And Scroll is one of the platforms that it's user first, application second, right? So we want to empower the user in many ways and give them as many tools that they can use to empower themselves. Don't just spend time on Scroll, make it benefit you as well. And we always looking for suggestions. We take suggestions from
Yeah.
many different other businesses, clients, and from working with clients. One thing we do know is we're actually bringing their dreams to reality, and we're actually putting their dreams first, and we actually putting their business, first, and we actually enabling them to go in business. So now we're taking that same approach to us, and we're enabling ourselves. So I think working for other businesses also teaches us how to run our business at the same time.
I love that you say that, because one of my questions was like, how has your background prepared you guys as founders in this
Mhm.
journey? Now we're not entrepreneurs. Now you're tech founders. There's different,
Right.
Right.
there's different
Right.
levels of this.
Yeah.
So, most people, especially people of color, we're used to just saying entrepreneurs, or,
Right.
you
Right.
know, even for me, it got like, I still am like, yeah, oh yeah, I'm a founder.
Right. 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 Right.
So, how has your background prepared you guys to be the founder on this journey for Scroll?
I think I tell you, we learned a lot from our last huge project, the Halls project. I
Yeah.
think there was a lot of things that was a big project for us. We raised millions of dollars for that. It was in the marketplace. It did very, very well. But there were a lot of things that we could have did better, right? So I think we learned from our mistakes, and it was some some management things above us that we had no control of, and that's where the founder comes in. Now we are the founder. There's no one else but us, so we can control some of those things that were not controllable before. So I think that's what some of the things that we've learned in the past that we can implement now. For instance, just being lean when it comes to um, what should I say, hiring certain staff, right? Not just going overboard. For us, we want to be mindful of who we bring in and make sure, hey, can you do one or more things versus doing because we want to be lean when it comes. I mean, of course, we'll have to scale as we get bigger, but initially we don't need to hire 30 people. You know what I mean? So little
More
things like that have taught us.
little intentional hiring.
Yeah, yeah,
Right,
yeah,
right.
yeah. So
Targeting and hiring. That's right.
yeah. So a lot of those things have taught us those things, and just listening to our clients, listen to our influencers, so to speak, and just people in general, getting feedback and just making sure that we give the people what they want.
And we had great examples from that experience. We had one of the most powerful legal teams that actually taught us legal for business. There was nothing we was able to do without running it past legal. So
Yeah,
already we're already conditioned to go by guidelines and policies, right? That's out there. So we already pay attention to that from day one. And actually, the investor that funded us was a very savvy tech. Yeah, he's a really good investor, and he has really good technology. And for him to believe into us, I mean, we was one of the last projects that he kept on.
yeah,
He had got rid of everything else in his portfolio, but kept us
Oh
on.
wow.
Yeah, and he was very sought after, and we learned a lot from him. And I remember the first question he asked me when he funded the app. He said, "So, Chris, are you going to build this app by yourself?" I said, "No, I'm going to hire people who better than me to actually build it with me."
right.
And that's all he wanted to hear. You can't do it alone. You can't do it alone. You know?
Absolutely.
So one thing, you want to be the vision, but you also want the people who's also doing this on a daily basis, that's constantly looking for new technology breakthroughs. We had a guy back then that was talking machine learning, and he would come to the office every day. He was like, machine learning, which became AI now, right? He's like,
Wow.
Chris, I'm working on machine learning. I was like, yeah, but we need to work on this app. He's like, yeah, but I'm telling you, I'm working on this machine learning. I was like, well, machine learning this app right now. But now we hired him. He actually, I think he went to Google, right, Jerrod?
I think so.
Yeah, he was in Silicon Valley, became this big developer over there. But
Yep.
we attach ourselves to people. Also, we brought in the guy who built the Ticketmaster app. He consulted me
Wow.
while I was building the Halls app. Yeah. So we actually always surround ourselves with people who are actually doing this on different scales and different, you know, genres and different businesses to
That's awesome.
also
That's
help us.
actually great advice too.
Yeah, yeah. You don't want to go into it. You can't do anything by yourself. I mean, it takes a team to really build something, that's valuable. And we have a very good foundation. Myself and Jerrod, it's not going anywhere. It's 20 years plus. Most people. This is actually true. Most people in business at time, they fall out. They have arguments. Up. We have never had one argument in 20
That's
something.
amazing.
Never.
That's amazing. That goes in
Right,
the
right.
record book.
Yeah, we never had one argument, to be like, you should really be thinking about this, it'd be something like that, but it has never been like, oh, no, we've never been down that road, ever.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So I guess my last question would be, what would Skroll be in 5 years in the future?
Skroll.
What was Skroll being?
Jerrod was gonna say, yeah, this
You
is
said what?
great.
Say again. What
What is
Skroll be?
What would Skroll be in 5 years in the future?
You know what? I hope that Skroll is a platform that we see a lot of people wealthy from. Actually, I would like to see people who come to Skroll. Yeah, they come to Skroll to enjoy, have fun, but I want to see people use our platform because it is an e-commerce platform to
Right.
make money and be able to help, feed families and grow internally. So that's what our goal is, not just to, it's like if we can help others, like that's our thing. So this platform is really used to like help those people monetize and make money so that way they can provide for themselves, their family, maybe even, make extra money to be able to, create something like a Skroll. But that's what I see. I see Skroll being a household name that people love, people have joy, have fun with, but also can earn and make money through our marketplace and our other revenue streams that we have for them. So
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
I'm
I
gonna
echo
have
that.
to make money if I want that Chanel. I saw there's a Chanel in there.
you want that?
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
so some of the features See, Skroll is also a lifestyle. You know, people they want to. So Skroll has this thing where you can actually, show some love on their posts. And some of the things that people like is lifestyle. So I mean, why not give a virtual luxury gift to someone that can also be converted to USDs? That's one thing in Skroll. You can convert your gifts that you receive on your post or on your profile that can actually convert to USD. So it's incentivized, right? You make good content, you will be rewarded, and you can monetize that. So that's a good thing. And in 5 years, Skroll should be Skroll, and maybe we might have joined partners with a larger entity by that time. So those are things. So we don't know what 5 years in tech will be, but Skroll will be at the pivotal entrance of that.
Skroll will definitely evolve with it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Is there any last piece of advice or message you guys want to leave about Skroll?
I'll say it real quick, and I'm like Jerrod. Jerrod is a good closer, so
No,
I'm
go.
gonna say the advice I got for you before and I'll pass it is scroll hard or go home.
Scroll hard or go home.
It.
That's it. Scroll hard. You took the words out of my mouth. Work hard, scroll hard. You know what I mean? That's how we do. Scroll hard and go home. No. We're just excited, man. We're excited about the platform. We've been getting overwhelming response from different people of all ages and from whether influencer or non-influencers. So we're excited about getting it going. We think that, people are like, well, when is it out? Can we get it? Can we download? Can we use it? People are starting to use it now, which is great. They're like asking for the Android version. So Android version is out. We're giving it to them, so we're just ready to scale and make this thing grow and put the right team behind us and get people in the app, working with the app and having fun with it. And then, work hard, scroll hard,
Get your find me on the app, of course. I'm already playing with it. So I will go make myself some points and some money and if anybody wants to
get your coins on there and
Christmas is coming.
That's right. You can literally you can literally go make some coin. You can really make some coin.
Come on, guys.
We have a good editor on there as well, so you can do your content. But here's the thing we want to do with influencers. We want to transition them to inspirers. We want you to inspire people instead of influence them. Inspire them to do many things. So hopefully we can make that transition.
Absolutely. Where can they stay in touch with the Skroll app? All things Skroll. How can they stay in that contact, in the know? I want to know when the next update is so I could sign up. Not me, but them.
That's a good question. We're like in the beta launch now, right? So they'll be able to go to one of our landing pages, and it will be inside the app where to contact us as well. So there's a contact page to stay in contact with us, and also you can also stay in touch with the official Skroll profile. Be in communication with us. We'll sort out any issues you have, give you any help that we can, and that's the best way to reach us is through the Skroll app profile.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you so much.
A little bit more about Skroll. I had to twist some elbows and
that's it. I appreciate it.
I couldn't keep the secret to myself. I had to share. I know you guys got more, so I'm gonna take a.
We got more. We definitely got more. But
we're gonna be seeing each other when all is to come. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye. Take care.
See you later. Peace.